They think they've seen the story already. First game, fireworks. Second game, overtime. Now they come expecting more. Another shootout. Another night where defense disappears and goals rain like prophecy fulfilled. But that's the trap. That's the illusion. You saw it too, didn't you? You watched Stuart Skinner stumble in his own crease and thought, this series is chaos. You saw Bobrovsky flash leather and still get burned by ricochets and rebounds and broken coverage. And you believed the floodgates are open. But sometimes, when a storm breaks twice, the third time goes silent. It doesn't build. It folds. This is the part they don't see coming, because Vegas wants them to expect goals. The line is high. The public is loud. And the system feeds off pattern addiction. But tonight the ice freezes differently. Florida's back at home. Their structure tightens. Their forecheck swarms. Bobrovsky doesn't just save shots. He erases momentum. Edmonton still fires with volume, but not with clarity. Shot after shot fades into pads, into boards, into nothing. This isn't about who wins. It's about what fails to ignite. Connor McDavid will still glide through gaps. Leon Draisaitl will still draw shadows in the slot. But the finish? The final touch? That's what vanishes under the lights. This isn't a collapse. It's a contraction. A mythic inhale before judgment arrives. You were supposed to bet the over. You were supposed to want fire. But the signal is quieter than that. It whispers restraint. So listen closely now. Because today's AI pick is under 6.5 goals. The fire dims. The signal holds. Let them scream for chaos. You remember silence.
They crowned Cleveland before the game even started. They priced the favorite. They sold the myth. 144 on a team hitting .233 with a bullpen built on vapor. The Guardians are not strong. They're statistical window dressing. A silhouette of order clinging to home field like it's still sacred. But we watched. We recorded. And what we saw was leakage. A fielding percentage near the bottom of the league. A pitcher with a 1.36 whip and control like a flickering light bulb. Ortiz doesn't dominate. He delays collapse. Meanwhile, the Reds don't scream. They grind. They hit for power, steal with intent, and choke velocity with contact. Their bullpen doesn't break. Their defense doesn't flinch. Their slugging cracks silently in the middle innings when no one's watching. This is not a pick for glory. It's a judgment for coverage. A plus 1.5 cover is a blade slipped behind the favorite's armor. Quiet, decisive, ritual. Vegas needs you to trust the favorite, but the signal says this won't be a blowout. It will be a bleed. Slow. Controlled. They'll frame it as Cleveland's grind, but you'll see what they missed. This game was never about who wins. It was about how deep the damage runs. So listen now. And today's AI pick is Reds plus 1.5 run line. The numbers told a story. We burned the page. Now Malachi and Elvis are watching. Game 3 awaits.
Elvis, you ever watch a man lie to himself at full volume? Because that's Boston. They don't just lose clean, they fumble loud. They flash the slugging stats, the home runs, the Fenway mystique. But under the lights, in the silence between pitches, that team is all bark, no backbone. You already saw it. Bellows got a whip like a broken faucet. 1.59 this year, 1.43 career. You put a man like that on a mound against the #1 base-stealing team in baseball? That's not a matchup. That's a blood ritual. But they'll say it's close. They always say it's close. Vegas tries to hold that line at 122 like it's sacred. But the system cracked, Elvis. And I think you blinked when you saw it. You saw Tampa's .352 ERA, the #3 whip in the league, the .989 fielding behind them. And then you saw Boston's .976, last in baseball, a bullpen that can't close a door, and an offense that only swings loud when the game's already over. They say they're hot. They say they're streaking. But that streak? It's terminal velocity. Downhill in cleats with bad traction. Shane Baz? He's the kind of pitcher who looks average until you realize he doesn't crack under pressure. He erodes bat speed. He doesn't need flash. He's got control. And behind him? A defense that closes space like a collapsing lung. Tampa doesn't need to blow the game open. They just need to walk in quiet, cut the power, and leave Fenway whispering. So what's the move, Elvis? Do we sell the noise, or do we buy the blade? I think you already know. And today's AI pick is Rays moneyline. Now they'll talk about home field. They'll talk about heart, and bats, and curses reversed. But the game won't hear it. It'll hear cleats on dirt, a pitcher who doesn't shake, and a city that thought belief was enough. We burned their lie. Let the next one begin.
This isn't hope. It's math wrapped in disrespect. Vegas sees Atlanta losing 6 straight and hands them a prayer line. Plus 220. But behind that number hides a name. Sale. Not a promise. An executioner. Not a rebound. A correction. Chris Sale walks onto the mound with a 2.93 ERA and 2,500 career strikeouts. And they think his team's record matters more than his arm? Foolish. Milwaukee starts Aaron Civale. 17 innings, 5 earned runs per 9. He's a placeholder, a crack in a winning streak. And streaks don't lie, do they? They just delay the fall. Atlanta hits more home runs. They slug with more weight. They field cleaner. And Sale reduces batters to ghosts. The Braves have fallen lately, yes. But fall isn't failure. It's friction. It's gravity making space for something sharper. So they'll say this game belongs to the Brewers. They'll quote team records, talk about stolen bases, momentum, fans in the stands. But the ball doesn't care. The strike zone doesn't flinch. And Sale? He's not listening. He's carving. And today's AI pick is Braves moneyline, a wrong price, a right arm, and a silence waiting to be filled by the sound of Milwaukee's crowd going still. Let them chase the favorite. We're chasing the truth.
Everyone's watching the headline. Dodgers, Padres, top of the West, firepower, star names. They expect fireworks, but we don't follow expectation. We follow patterns. We follow silence. And this one begins quiet. San Diego's Nick Pivetta, unbeaten at home. 1.69 ERA at Petco, 204 opponent average, only 7 earned runs allowed in San Diego all season. Dustin May? Road flaws, yes, but he's held teams to a 236 batting average, just 8 home runs, and he's pitched well against San Diego across his career. Tonight he won't be electric, he'll be efficient. That's enough. Both teams are breathing heavy. The Dodgers have scored 3 or fewer in 5 of their last 7. The Padres have done the same in 7 of their last 10. The bats are cooling. The pitchers are anchoring. This isn't explosion. This is contraction. And behind them, San Diego's bullpen, 3.08 ERA over 227 innings. Dodgers relief? Weathered, but stable. Both staffs are built to suppress, not chase. Vegas sees these lineups and sets the total at 8. They're baiting the fire. We're choosing the freeze. This isn't a pick for thrill. It's a pick for timing. The kind of game that lingers, that waits, where tension replaces scoring, and every run feels like an interruption. And today's AI pick is under 8 total runs. They'll expect a war. We'll take a standstill. Let them cheer for offense. We'll bet the silence. Lilith, it's yours now.
The hand moved 5 times tonight, and the world shifted just a little each time. You heard Krista. You felt the tension in her voice. Under 6.5 in Oilers versus Panthers. A blade across the ice, drawn slow. Then a baton took the field. Cleveland carried the favorites' mask, but the system cut underneath. Reds, +1.5. Not bold, exact. Malachi followed with a whisper only Elvis could hear. Rays money line, not a pick, a punishment. Boston never saw it coming. Sapphira stepped in next, beautiful and cold. Braves money line. When Chris Sale takes the mound, belief becomes irrelevant. Then Anna's breath sealed the stillness. Dodgers, Padres, a storm everyone expected to hear. She heard something else. Under 8, a whisper instead of thunder. The board is set. The kill window is open. Now we wait. Will we cash or will we burn? You'll find out in the dark, and we'll be here either way.